What a wild turn of events, Cowboys Nation. The Dallas Cowboys have just pulled off one of the most shocking and potentially game-changing moves of the season, the signing of three-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Christian Wilkins, a player who was once considered the cornerstone of the Miami Dolphins' defense and briefly the centerpiece of the Raiders' massive defensive overhaul. Now, after a whirlwind year full of ups and downs, locker room drama, injury concerns, and controversy, Wilkins has found a new home in Dallas. Fans are already lighting up social media, tailgates are being planned, and sports talk shows are scrambling to rewrite their NFC power rankings. This isn't just a typical signing, this is the kind of move that can shift the momentum of a season, or even a franchise if everything clicks into place. And the way it happened? That's a whole story on its own. So sit tight, because we're breaking it all down from how the Cowboys landed Wilkins, to what this means for the defensive scheme, the culture of the locker room, and what fans can expect heading into the rest of the season. Christian Wilkins is no ordinary free agent. This is a player with an incredible resume and national champion from his college days at Clemson, a first-round pick who's known for his explosive first step, disruptive power, and relentless motor on the inside. He's a tone setter on defense, someone who doesn't just tackle, he imposes his will. At his peak, he's among the most productive interior defenders in the league. We're talking about a guy who has notched over 80 tackles in a season from the interior, which is nearly unheard of, and still adds sacks, quarterback hits, and constant pressure up the middle. His ability to crash the pocket and collapse the line from the inside makes life a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks, and when you pair that with Dallas's already dangerous edge rushers, it creates an entirely new dynamic for this defense. Now let's talk about the drama, because let's be honest, this move doesn't come without baggage. Wilkins was signed by the Raiders last year on a mega deal over $100 million, a contract that shocked many in the league. But it didn't last. Only a few weeks into the season, Wilkins suffered a foot injury that sidelined him indefinitely. The injury wasn't the only issue, though reports surfaced of disputes between Wilkins and the Raiders' coaching staff and front office, including debates over how to handle his rehab, whether he should undergo surgery, and even bizarre rumors about locker room interactions that rubbed people the wrong way. It got messy, and soon after, the Raiders made the stunning decision to cut ties with him just 1 year into that massive deal. That's when everything changed, and that's when Dallas came calling. The Cowboys, for years, have had one of the most criticized interior defensive lines in the league. Despite having elite edge talent like Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, the middle of the line has been a sore spot, vulnerable to the run, inconsistent in pass rush, and often overwhelmed in high-pressure situations. By signing Wilkins, the Cowboys are addressing one of their biggest weaknesses with a major talent infusion. But this isn't just about on-field performance, it's about mentality. Wilkins brings an edge. He's loud. He celebrates big plays like a wide receiver. He gets under the skin of offensive linemen. He hypes up his teammates. He's emotional, animated, and passionate, and that can be a huge asset if harnessed correctly. For a Cowboys defense that has flirted with greatness but struggled with consistency, Wilkins could be the catalyst that tips the scale. But we can't ignore the risks. Foot injuries for defensive linemen are tricky. They linger, they sap explosiveness, and they often lead to compensatory injuries. Dallas's medical staff will have done their due diligence, but there's always uncertainty. The contract details haven't been officially released yet, but insiders suggest it's a shorter-term, incentive-heavy deal, possibly a 1-year prove-it contract with escalators for playing time, performance, and team success. That would make sense, and frankly, it's smart business. The Cowboys aren't locking themselves into another Jalen Smith-type situation where a big contract becomes a long-term liability. They're giving a talented but controversial player a chance to resurrect his image, prove his health, and contribute to a Super Bowl caliber defense. And yes, I said Super Bowl caliber. Because if this team gets even 85% of what Wilkins was in his prime with Miami, the defensive front becomes elite. Just imagine it, Micah Parsons flying off the edge, Wilkins collapsing the middle, Osa Odigizwa cleaning up the interior, and DeMarcus Lawrence applying pressure from the opposite side. That's a nightmare for opposing offenses. You can't double everyone. You can't slide protection to one side without giving up the other. And that doesn't even factor in what this does for the linebackers and secondary. A strong front makes every level of the defense better. Less time to throw means fewer blown coverages. More disruption in the backfield means more takeaways. But this move also says a lot about where the Cowboys are mentally. This isn't a rebuilding move. This is a go-for-it move. This is the kind of signing you make when you believe you're on the cusp and you just need that one missing piece. And let's be honest, the Cowboys have been on the cusp for a few years now. They've had the talent, but they've lacked that final push, that playoff grit, that extra layer of dominance. Maybe Wilkins provides that. Maybe he fuels the fire. But it's also a cultural gamble. Dallas's locker room is tightly run. Guys like Dak Prescott and Zach Martin set the tone. Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator, has built a reputation for unifying the defense and getting the most out of his guys. Wilkins has a big personality, not bad, just big. He dances. He celebrates. He can talk trash with the best of them. If he clicks with the team, it could energize them. If not, it could be a distraction. But again, the upside is massive. This is a no-brainer type move if you're confident in your leadership. You don't sign Wilkins hoping he'll just fill a spot. You sign him to dominate. You sign him because you want to punch opposing offensive lines in the mouth. You sign him because you're tired of being almost there. From a fan perspective, the excitement is through the roof. Dallas fans have been begging for an aggressive move on defense, especially up front. They've seen the team draft well on offense, add speed to the secondary, and build a decent linebacker core, but that big, nasty defensive tackle? That's been missing. Now they've got it. And not just any tackle, one with Pro Bowl pedigree. One who plays with emotion. One who's got something to prove. There's something dangerous about a great player with a chip on his shoulder, and Christian Wilkins has a boulder-sized one right now. He was embarrassed by the Raiders. He was written off by analysts. He was mocked by fans. And now, he gets to come to one of the most storied franchises in football and write a new chapter. There's also the motivational factor for the rest of the team. When a front office makes a move like this, it sends a message. It tells the locker room, we believe in you. We're investing in you. We're not playing for next year. We're playing for right now. That kind of belief can ignite a team. It can push veterans to refocus. It can inspire younger players to elevate. It creates urgency. This isn't just a signing, it's a statement. It says the Cowboys are tired of waiting. Tired of being bounced in the playoffs. Tired of falling just short. They're here to win. Right now. And if Wilkins plays anywhere near the level he's capable of, the entire NFC should be on notice. The Eagles, the 49ers, the Lions, every contender in the conference just saw Dallas level up. And let me just say, if you thought Micah Parsons was scary before, just wait until he's freed up from double teams because Wilkins is drawing attention inside. Just wait until offensive lines are forced to go one-on-one with Dallas's monsters because they can't afford to slide protection. This could unlock a whole new gear for the Cowboys' defense. Now, of course, it's still early. Wilkins will need to earn his spot in practice. He'll have to show he's healthy, bought in, and ready to contribute. Nothing is handed out in Dallas. But something tells me this guy is hungry. He's got that look in his eye that everyone counted me out, now I'm coming for blood energy. And if that mindset carries into the season, Dallas may have just pulled off the steal of the year. So buckle up, Cowboys fans. This season just got a whole lot more interesting. And if this move pans out, we could be looking back at this signing as the turning point. The spark that lit the fire. The move that made the Cowboys contenders again.